dances is back.
Who's this? The bar Simpson?
Yeah, that was the bar. But they flipped it like they do all the young. Yeah, they do all the dances. 1, 2, we ready? Turn it off?
Yeah, turn it off.
Hold on, let me get my papers.
I don't agree with that.
Papers?
The Rand philosophy of the papers.
Yeah, I do.
It looks like you rehearsed. What the hell? You supposed to be off the cuff.
It is, but it's papers.
You
Like,
some Ronies?
That's up to Brad.
I smack my hands like. Welcome back to Guard Your Girl Boxing.
I didn't know that line, by the way.
He's co-trained. You know, that's from the oldest.
The SOEEBHOUC.
Follow the throne. Follow the throne. Guard Your Girl Boxing. The originators.
But you know, I love my biters. I take it as a compliment.
Take it as a compliment, man.
I know what y'all do. Don't think we don't watch.
And we got people watching. We always got people watching.
Don't think we don't see what's going on.
The channel that never sleeps. Sleep.
We never sleep, because sleep is the cousin of death. Nasty Nice!
Guard Your Girl Boxing, episode, I don't even know what.
150, no, we actually like at 200 or something.
We had like 200 something shows, milestone. Milestone reach. You know, big show coming up, you know, whenever there's a show involving Floyd Mayweather is always a big show. Versus Vicious, Victor Ortiz, going down next weekend for the WBC welterweight title bout. I believe is on the line next Saturday. That Vicious Victor Ortiz won from Andre Berto. That's the shoulder roll. What they say don't work against southpaws, by the way. But I'll beg the difference. Floyd, but Floyd is undefeated, so it do work against southpaw. But anyway, we'll get into that. This Guard Your Girl Boxing. Shout out to the brass. Big Mike, Docs, Ryder Die. Sleep is already here. Uvo ain't worked.
Basquiat
was a no-no.
Basquiat
Uvo was a we tried. Shout out to Big Mike and Docs. We tried to do the Uvo, whatever the hell it's called. We tried to do that last night.
I think you pronouncing it wrong, like how they pronounce it.
Whatever.
Maybach. Kids, it's a Maybach. It's not a Maybach. It's a Maybach.
Maybach music.
Is it Nike or Nike?
I have no idea. Ask Phil. Get Phil on the line. We got contacts.
No, that's not good.
All right. So listen. So we got a fight coming up next Saturday involving the money man himself. We're going to get into the intangibles of the fight.
I think he learned.
Shout out to DJ Murray and the Valley Boy, too.
This dance incorporates Floyd.
That's Floyd, yeah. That's a lot of y'all don't remember. This dance is the Bart Simpson. That was the Bart.
That's one of the longest running syndicated shows in history.
Remember Bart?
TV.
Yo, I'm not even. I was like in third grade when that show started. And it's still going.
Yeah, exactly.
Yo, but remember the dance?
You know the longest running show? WWE wrestling, baby.
Yeah, he sleeped in. He done tapped into a new chamber. I'm not there. He there. He kind of doing that. He jumped into the wrestling bag. But
I hear voices in my head. They talk to me. They understand. They talk. That's Randy Orton.
You're bigger than him. You're bigger than him. You're stronger.
I do. I didn't betray you.
What's Ricky Hatton?
I didn't betray you.
He's a little guy.
But in between the boxing, I've gone to just pure entertainment.
Who's Ricky Hatton? He's a little guy. Shane Mosley? Who's Shane Mosley?
Come on.
You know who Oscar said? Like, remember in John Gotti at the end of the movie? They're gonna miss John Gotti. Remember at the end when he was talking about?
Sounded like he was trying to confuse. He was trying to.
He was convincing.
He was trying to convince Ortiz.
What's happening in this fight? What's going on?
So you want to just jump right into it?
Let's get right into it, man.
Floyd Mayweather versus Vicious Victor Ortiz. He's a southpaw. He's a hard puncher. He's young.
10 years is junior.
Floyd supposed to be old, but you know in 2011, you know.
Older people are living a lot longer these days.
Let's get into how Jay-Z influences pop culture.
He does.
When he got his 30s, 30 was the old. It took him a while to admit his real age. But it's probably not his real age.
Right.
30's the new 20.
Right.
Now he's
40s is the new 30s.
Yeah, he said, you know, you got you wearing hooplos or whatever, the big face rollies.
New watch alert.
He totally ruined my whole possession of throwback jerseys. You know, I used to collect
I don't
them
wear jerseys. I'm 30 plus.
prior to this whole outburst in the early 2000s. But
You got a 4.0. You better get your
so
chain.
now Floyd's supposed to be old.
Floyd's supposed to be old. He's 30. Well, how old is Floyd? Floyd's 34 years old.
Yeah,
he's heading to 35. He's on a greater side of 30.
But
However
just
the saying
like
goes.
Grant Hill, but Grant Hill had injuries.
Right.
He hasn't played much in the last 3 or 4 years.
Right.
So you can say Russ, but far as age,
I think he had 2
he hasn't taken any beatings,
Right.
and he hasn't been in the ring.
He's been
How many fights has he had in the last 3 years?
No, you're right. In the last 4 years, I think he fought Hatton, he fought Marquez, and he fought Shane. That's 3 fights.
3 fights in 4 years.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
So it's not really a lot of wear and tear there, but there could be ring rust. But just like the great ones, he trains year round. So I don't see too much of a layoff. So I want you to start off with what you think Ortiz needs to do to beat Floyd, and then we can talk about what we think Floyd needs to do to beat Ortiz.
Every southpaw that Floyd ever fought had moments. I don't want to get carried away and talk about he has trouble with southpaws. I don't believe that to be true because he's dominated every southpaw he's ever faced. But like I said, they all have had their moments. Chop Corley got his attention. Zab Judah. But Zab Judah, to me, had the ultimate style to beat Floyd Mayweather if it was sustained.
Speed and power.
And not only that, he was in a traditional southpaw stance. He was throwing out of a 1-2, getting there first. The speed, he was beating Floyd to the punch early. It was just a straight jab. He was touching him with.
Which historically, everybody could beat Floyd to the punch early. It's just about
But that looked at a little different.
because it was power. It was power.
It was power. It was conviction behind the 1-2 that he was throwing, and it was the speed. He was getting there first. That was the first time Floyd looked inferior as far as speed goes. That was the first time I seen Zab looked a lot quicker. But that's a whole nother subject. The subject at hand tonight is Victor Ortiz and what he has to do to win. See, I got this bad vibe. Sometimes fighters get out of their element. What got him there? And I'm not saying that the style he used with Berto is going to work against Floyd, but why not use it? But I think they're going to try to outbox Floyd, and that's going to be to their detriment. I think Victor Ortiz is going to try to come out establishing a jab, which somebody told me a stat in the Lamont Peterson fight, how many jabs he landed in that fight. I think it was only like 2 or 3 or some old crazy number like that. So he don't jab. I don't know if he knows how to jab. It's just not a part of his arsenal because he's a stalking, smother, not so much of a smothering style that he uses, but he comes straight forward and he likes to throw high volume. When I say high volume, not like an Antony or Margarito, but he likes to throw in volume. And I think that they're going to try to use a Zab formula and stand there and kind of be like a sitting duck. And I think that's going to really hurt him. But for them to win the fight, I don't know. It's hard, man. Ortiz don't set his punches up. He leaps in, he leans in, he swears up. These are a lot of things you got to ask him to correct.
Let's look at Ortiz and who he's faced. You know,
Berto, but
I mean, he faced Marcus Mondana. That was a shootout. That was a war of attrition, which he didn't have the attrition to beat that particular war. Then you have Lamont Peterson, which in my opinion he lost the fight. He hurt him early. He possesses power.
Well, he stopped fighting in that fight. Now, was that did he really think he was winning, or was that because?
I think it was an adjustment to Lamont.
I agree with you, but there's some people out there saying he thought he was winning, so he took the last 4 rounds. I disagree. I agree with you.
I don't think fighters do that.
Yeah.
When Floyd did it.
Actually, Oscar did do it.
Well, that was before we knew about Oscar running out of gas. And we started seeing
I actually believed him in that fight.
I'm going to tell you something.
You don't believe it?
Not when you evaluate.
I gotta watch that fight.
When you evaluate his career, you see
he ain't Oscar in that Ike Cortez fight. Even though he really lost that fight.
He lost that fight, but he showed a heart of a champion.
He showed a heart of a champion.
But Ike Cortez didn't give him the pressure. Tito gave him.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm just saying, if he says he took the rounds off, he was to his corner did tell him.
He told him. He
told
that.
But I mean, historically, from there on, we started seeing glimpses of Oscar running out of gas late in fights. So I'm just saying, So back to Ortiz. What Ortiz needs to do to attempt to beat, a Floyd Mayweather is to make it an ugly fight. I think you can have different.
How many times we seen fighters try to do that in Floyd show?
Well, the thing with Floyd is the people who try to make it an ugly fight, I don't think it was big enough or strong enough to do it.
Like
this is
little.
too small. Too small.
Right.
Now, De La Hoya was big enough to make it ugly.
Right.
The problem was,
and he had a jab. He did find Floyd occasionally with a jab.
De La Hoya's mentality is not messy enough to do the proper things. Like
his problem with speed too.
He has a problem with speed, but De La Hoya, he was getting a little older, but he doesn't have the mental mind state to do the dirty things to disrupt Floyd in that type of environment. Right. Now, if our boy Bernard was probably in his camp around that time,
he tried to do some Bernard antics, Oscar.
He tried to hit him low.
But he didn't know how to do it.
He wasn't really landing nothing.
He don't know how to do that either.
So Ortiz used to crowd Floyd. He needs to push him around.
Like Castillo did.
Like Castillo, but he doesn't have the counter punching.
He don't have the counter punching.
Right. So he needs to do these things to try to make a fight ugly, but that's easier said than done because I don't think people and the fans or people realize how strong Floyd is.
That's what I'm getting at.
Floyd is just physically at welterweight.
He's strong. He's
strong.
Yeah.
He's big and he's strong, and I don't think people understand that. And it's not easy to push this man.
He's the best counter puncher, and that this game has probably, if not one of the best counter punchers in the history of this game. He's definitely the best counter puncher right now. And Victor Ortiz, like his lean-in, aggressive style.
That's a lot of mistakes.
It's just you leave your hands on a swivel.
We don't want to take anything from Victor.
No, we're not taking away. I'm just wanting to.
Right now.
You know what I said? Listen, and I know you disagree with me about this. Floyd is still 34 years old and he hasn't fought in 2 years. One of these times, it's not going to be any money in the bank. No matter how much you train and all that, it's a difference being in ring shape and just in general shape. But in this particular fight here,
it doesn't even matter.
I don't think it matters.
Even if he's a half a step off, this is a television.
But one thing we cannot negate, and I know you won't put a lot of stock in it, Victor Ortiz has dropped every fighter he's been in the ring with. Right. And he's never been in the ring with anything remotely close to a Floyd Mayweather who don't give you nothing clear to hit. And I would love to see who all these fighters was prior to the ones.
Yeah, I mean, only person.
But that says something. Like even like I told you in the Berto fight, he was in close counter. Victor Ortiz just kind of by the way, throw an by the way short right hand, and
let's talk about Berto. Was Berto the mark of this whole?
Yeah, definitely the mark.
Was Berto the mark?
We misread who the mark was. We thought Victor Ortiz was the mark.
Well, the storyline changes a lot, just like we talked about. Like going into the new year, this storyline may not be what it presented to be. But was Berto the mark? They had to get him out there, right?
Berto was. Because
they had to generate interest.
They had to generate interest. They had to get somebody with somewhat of a following. Right. And Victor Ortiz has a better story than Berto. Victor Ortiz has a better fan base than Berto.
Berto has a unique story too, but
not like Victor Ortiz.
Victor has a very
I know some
serious
people
story.
kind of think it's overplayed, but
no, Victor's story's good.
His story's messed up. You know what I mean? You need to check yourself if you don't think it's messed up. But yeah, but that's a whole nother side. When it comes to these X's and O's in this ring, though, man, there's not a boxer that better prepare for fighters like Floyd. There's not a better fighter other than Bernard Hopkins that capitalize on a fighter's mistakes than Floyd Mayweather. And I just think, like you said, Victor Ortiz, he's a young fighter. But don't get it twisted. This is a learning experience for Victor Ortiz. Like I told you before, Victor Ortiz got nowhere to go but up from this fight because he's not expecting to win.
Fans, we gave you about 11 minutes of being politically correct. Victor Ortiz is gonna get his head beat in. It's gonna be 12 rounds of a head bashing. Let's just be real.
When not 12 rounds, he's early.
Listen, guys.
Floyd Mayweather.
This is a one-dimensional southpaw with a lot of power, but he's not fast enough. He doesn't have the footwork or head movement to deal with Floyd Money Mayweather.
We thought that about Berto.
I'm predicting you're gonna see something.
I'm trying.
Yeah, you're gonna see a Corrales repeat. You're gonna see a lot of this. You're gonna see a lot of bashing. Yeah, you're gonna see. I see Victor getting off the canvas, and I see his corner stopping the fight in the 10th round. It's gonna be a dominating performance. It has nothing to do with Victor accomplished against Berto, who was being kept away from punchers for the past 3 years. Right. They all of a sudden put in with Victor,
who they thought was a smaller fighter.
Yeah, came in huge and beat him down. And it has nothing to do with that, but it has just to do with the styles. And this style It's just a dress rehearsal. Hopefully,
that's all. Yeah, that's what
if we don't get a storm called Carrie, like Carrie scares me.
It was Irene.
Carrie scares me because her eyes are light and her hair is red. Irene, I wait till 3 o'clock in the morning.
Ever since I saw Carrie,
I bought 80 pounds.
Nice to people.
I bought 80 pounds of sand for Irene. I waited up to 3 o'clock in the morning for Irene. I didn't even get thunder.
You got sucker there.
Carrie haunted me when I was a child. Linda Blair, The Exorcist. Name the next one, Linda.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Trey.
Yeah, I'm gonna just end on this note. Like I said, Victor Ortiz is playing with the house's money, so I think he's gonna be a lot more looser than the people think he's gonna be. I know people go back to the Madonna fight and said he quit, and they think he'll do it again. But when you're playing with the house money, you play real loose. And Victor Ortiz has nothing to lose because nobody expects him to win on Saturday. I expect him to make it interesting for like the first, I say 4 rounds or so, because what happened in the second round of the Shane fight, I think Floyd is going to be guarded on point. The guard is going to be high.
Shane has speed.
Shane does have the speed, but Victor Ortiz still can crack. And Floyd is a very cautious and careful fighter. That's why he's one of the great ones. And I just think he's going to be careful.
So 1 round it might look a little interesting.
I said 3, 4. I'm going to go 4 top. 5th round on is a route. And I got Victor Ortiz because he's going to be so aggressive. He's coming to get knocked out, basically.
I think about the Lamont Peterson fight. I give him
accurate.
1 round is going to look interesting.
I believe he's going to be set up for the same check hook Ricky Hack was set up for. The way Floyd lured him.
So you got him stopping.
No, he's going to knock him out. He's going to drop a couple times. He got dropped in a Berto fight.
He's going to get up smiling.
He's going.
This corner's going to stop it, or
that may be true.
He's going to quit.
Well, they still got to preserve him because there's more money to be made on him.
If he quits, there's no money.
He's not quitting.
Once a quitter, always a quitter. You know my thing. You are who you are, player. You can try to change, but but that's the top layer. I hear voices in my head.
Ninth round.
They talk to me. They understand. They talk to me.